So every day, our Gen Threat Labs team tracks what's happening in the world of cybersecurity, from well-known threats that people face every day to new scams and tactics that are reshaping the digital security landscape. I am Britt Posey, and joining me today is our resident cybersecurity expert, Luis Corrons. He's here to walk us through the latest trends, let us ask some questions, and most importantly, help us figure out how we can fight back. One of the most interesting stories that I found from this quarter is a fake pharmaceutical empire that were selling medications around the world. So, in short, what is PharmaFraud? Who is this group? What did they do?
Okay, so PharmaFraud is the name we've given to this growing type of scam, fake pharmacies that look professional but are actually run by cybercriminals. And the biggest case we uncovered was a group that we call MediPhantom. And in fact, this MediPhantom control over 5,000 fake pharmacy domains, but they had also health blogs, reviews, product pages. Everything was designed to make people really trust those sites. AI was basically their content engine here, right? That AI gave their network of sites like a professional, trustworthy appearance.
And in terms of what people were buying, this particular group targeted some specific medications. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
So basically, I mean, they were selling all kind of medicines, right? Like if you want to buy an online medicine in one of these fake pharmacies, you will find it probably. At the end of the day, they want you to buy and get your data and your credit card information, etc. But according to what they were announcing on those websites, you could see like the top one thing there was like the erectile dysfunction meds,
Yeah.
all type of drugs. And in second position, then you have like the hair loss medication, and then you have like weight loss, and then all kind of antibiotics. Most of
Right.
them, like you don't need any prescription or anything, promises like that, so you can get it easy.
So there's always a psychological aspect around this, right? It's preying on people's vulnerabilities. Maybe people don't have prescriptions for these medications, so they're going to try to do this quickly, discreetly. Maybe they're costing more at a traditional pharmacy, so they're trying to look online. Right.
Or as you were saying, they are really expensive, these meds, and they are looking for some cheaper options.
Yeah.
And so that creates like the urgency and secrecy, the perfect conditions for scams. So they are designed in any case to make people act quickly and not to ask too many questions.
Exactly. So how can people protect themselves from these types of scams?
In first place, if a website is offering prescription drugs without requiring a prescription, that's a huge red flag. So what can we do as users? Like, yes, stick to licensed pharmacies and official sources.
Mm.
And if price or the promise looks too good to be true, it usually is. At the end of the day, uh, our health is too important to gamble. And I'm talking
Mhm.
about health, not just about the financial or our data integrity and privacy, because they're having cases. We talk about that a bit in the report. In the U.S., there was 9 people that died because of these counterfeit drugs that they purchased online. It turns out that some of these pills they were purchasing, they were laced with fentanyl, and 9 people ended up dying. So it's a real risk, physical risk for everyone.
The key is looking for reputable pharmacies, ones that are licensed. As I understand, every online pharmacy should have a license that links out to the licensing organization wherever you are in the world. So, keeping an eye out for that is key for folks. So moving on to another story that was interesting this quarter, Luma Stealer. For people that don't know what Luma Stealer is, it's a data stealing malware that's been very highly used over the past few years. And they had a big quarter as well. So what happened with Luma Stealer exactly?
Yeah. As you say, it's a very prolific and famous information stealer. Europol announced a high-profile takedown of Luma Stealer. So headlines at the time made it sound like the threat was gone for good. if the people has gone through some of our previous reports, they can see how we've been tracking Luma really, really closely. And we were able to see fresh campaigns popping up, and its operators had already adapted, launching new versions of that kept stealing credentials, financial information, crypto wallets, etc. These groups don't stop, don't ever stop. They innovate, and Luma show us just how fast cybercriminals can bounce back and keep their business running.
And it's because of it's a service provider, right? They have a huge network of smaller operators that carry out the attacks.
Yeah, that's right. It's not like just one thing with a couple of guys or 10 guys. We're talking about maybe hundreds of guys.
Right. Exactly. So what's the takeaway for regular people when they hear about a takedown like this?
Uh, Takedowns are great news. That's always right. Like, but they don't mean that the threat disappears overnight.
Right.
For individuals, the best defense is prevention. Like info stealers like Luma usually get in through malicious attachments, fake updates, cracked software. So just avoid shady downloads, keep your apps updated, and use security tools that block these threats before they start. And at the end of the day, Luma is after your digital keys, right? So your passwords, your accounts, your wallets, protecting like you will do with the keys of your house.
It seems like every week we hear in the news about some large scale breach that's happened to a company, and we're all looking to see, was our data impacted? And our Gen report has said similar. Data breaches jumped 21% in the last quarter, and credential theft jumped 160%. So, what do you think is fueling this drive for data?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, data is the new gold, right? And for cyber criminals, and has become the fuel for almost every kind of cybercrime nowadays. Criminals don't just want the money directly. They want your logins, they want your personal details, your identity, because once they have that, they can sell it, they can trade it, or use it to launch new attacks.
What would you tell people who think, well, my data maybe isn't so important, or if my data is impacted in a breach, but my bank account isn't drained right away, I'm completely fine. What would you tell people with this mentality?
First, that's a really common mindset. I mean, I have listened to that kind of same arguments, even some people within the security communities. Criminals don't need you to be rich.
Yeah.
They just need scale. They make money at volume. So
Hmm.
your Netflix account, your Amazon account, your email, those can all be sold in underground markets, right? Like, and sometimes it's not even about money right away. It's about like linking your data with others to build bigger scams. So to the
Hmm.
bad guys, you are not the person, you are not the target. You are just part of their supply chain.
It can be one piece of a larger puzzle, right? So they could get specific information through a data breach and then use that to develop a very particular in-depth attack to a specific individual to then get the keys to sort of their whole digital kingdom, right?
Yeah, totally. Like spear phishing attacks, etc. I mean, like, once they have their information, they can launch like really sophisticated attacks that will fool anyone.
So how can people protect themselves from data theft?
Well, I mean, the good news is that you don't need to be like a tech expert to stay safe, right? I just few simple habits like use a password manager. I mean, it's normal that people reuses the passwords all the time. We are
Yeah.
subscribed to tens of online services. It's impossible that we are going to remind different passwords. Okay, use a password manager. You only have to learn one password, like
Yeah.
the main one, and then the password manager will take care of it. On top of that, and even more important than the password manager in my point of view, is like turn on two-factor authentication everywhere you can, right?
Mhm.
Because even if I give you right now my username and my password of one of my accounts, if I have the two-factor authentication enabled, you won't be able to get in.
Yeah.
And that's what happens with many of these cyber criminals that are trying to get into your account. Keep an eye on your counts and credits, right? So you can spot unusual activity early. But we all have tools. Most of financial services nowadays, like credit card, banks, etc., they have you can set up alarms that in case that like there is like a charge in your account in your credit card, you get a message, right? So every time that happens, I get a message, and my smartwatch buzzes, and I can just look at my at my wrist, and I know what happened, right?
Tools like dark web monitoring, when these breaches happen, they will let you know, okay, your email or your password or what credentials may have been impacted there, and then you can go take steps, change the password.
Every time we register in anywhere, we are giving our details, and those
Yep.
sites are hacked, and we know it because it's reported every day. So
Yep.
it's more likely than not that your data is out there already in the hands of cyber criminals, and services like this allow you to know it as soon as it happens or it is known, so you can take measures.
So moving on to another story. This quarter, we reported on a new ransomware called FunkSec, and it's the first ransomware that we know of that clearly used AI to help build their attacks. But luckily, our Gen researchers found some mistakes they made. So even AI isn't perfect, as we all know, and we were able to kind of crack the code and build a decryptor. So what happened with FunkSec?
It's actually it's a great example to see how cybercrime is evolving and how AI is being incorporated in all these kind of things, not only in proper businesses, but also in cybercriminal business. And this group basically said he was using AI to help build the ransomware campaign, which made them move faster and look more sophisticated than what we usually see from smaller groups, right? But here is the twist. When our team analyzed the ransomware, we noticed something unusual in the way they had implemented the encryption. You know, when you get a ransomware, you get infected, the first thing it does is like encrypt your files, right? So this encryption, it had a flaw, a vulnerability that we were able to find. And that was when we say, aha, that was our moment. One thing we never do is tell where the problem was exactly, because otherwise they will learn, right? So we don't want them to learn. And then the second thing that we did here is we were working quietly behind the curtains. We talked to major law enforcement agencies around the world. And together, we were helping victims recover their files without having to pay the ransom, which is kind of like the most important thing in the sense that if there is no ransom, there is no money. If there is no money, they will move to another place, right? And usually once your files are encrypted, that's it. But here we turn the criminal's own mistake against them, right? And at the same time, so how important collaboration is between researchers and law enforcement. And at the end, a FunkSec campaign fizzled out, but not before teaching us two lessons. AI can make attacks more dangerous. That's something that we know for sure, but it doesn't make them perfect. And when researchers and law enforcement team up, we can give people hope that in what usually feels like a hopeless situation, right, with ransomware.
And so what should people do if they're impacted by ransomware? What do you do? Do you pay? Who do you call?
The first rule would be don't panic. Easy to say, not that easy to follow, and don't rush to pay. Disconnect your device from the internet so the infection doesn't spread if you have other devices in the network or at home. Check if a free decryptor is available. As you were saying, we have developed a number of them. There's this web, nomoreransom.org, with the Europol and some private companies such as Gen, where we are providing our expertise and our tools. So maybe you have a free decryptor there, right? And if not, then reach out to a trusted security provider or law enforcement for help. And always the best protection is prevention. Like if you have having regular backups, if your files are safely backed up, ransomware becomes an inconvenience instead of a disaster, right?
Malicious push notifications. These shot up 317% this quarter. What does this mean? What is a malicious push notification? What should people look out for with this threat?
Yeah, this is one thing that catches a lot of people off guard. And if we say like malicious push notifications, what the heck is that, right? You know those little pop-ups that on websites that you're visiting a website and they say like, do you want to allow notifications? That happens in your computer, in your phone, etc. And what happens is that most of us click without thinking.
Hmm.
And criminals know that, right? And so what we're seeing is attackers that setting up like fake websites or hijacking ads that trick people into clicking in this allow click, right? So once you do, your browser is essentially giving them permission to send you messages. And instead of reminders about news or weather, you start getting from time to time scam alerts, fake updates, links to malware, etc. But it works because we are used to clicking. First click, then think. I mean,
Yeah,
and when I say us, it's us, and I include myself because, yeah,
yeah,
many times it turns out that our finger is faster than our
fast. Yeah,
mind,
yeah,
our thoughts. Yeah. Great example. Imagine you're on your computer or your device, and then you got a message, a push notification saying that there is a problem, a technical problem with your computer, needs to be fixed.
hmm,
You need to contact technical support. Click here to talk to a representative or call this number. And then you call. And then you talk to a guy that is going to help you to resolve the problem in your device. And then for that, they ask you to install a remote access tool so they can get there and solve it for you. And that's true. They do it, they install it, and the thing is that you didn't have any issue. The issue you have it now that you have that tool
yeah.
because they have full control of your device and they have basically the keys to your system.
Remote access Trojans. This is a threat that's been around for decades, as I understand. How can people protect themselves? I mean, is it the case that you should never allow remote access to your machine, or what should people do?
So, well, in the case of the notification prompts, right? Deny. Never click on allow. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I do. That's what I personally do, right? But I mean, if you don't trust the site, don't click allow. If you still see scammy notifications, let's say, go into your browser settings and revoke permissions. It's a simple fix that can save you a lot of headaches.
And people panic, I think, right? So they say, "Oh, your machine's not working," and we say immediately, "Anything I can do to fix this." These cyber threats, like you've said, they're faster, they're smarter, they're more personal, but so are we. So thank you, Luis, for taking the time to break this down for us. Um, and to anyone who's watching, let us know what surprised you most this quarter. You can drop a comment, you can hit like if you learned something new, and of course, you can subscribe if you want to keep getting more information in the future. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.